Salutare și bine v-am regăsit la Transilvania Culturală, o emisiune dedicată astăzi dansului contemporan. În cadrul Festivalului Internațional de Comedie la Cluj a venit trupa Kamea Dance Company cu un spectacol după Carmina Burana de Carl Orff. Avem aici invitat special din această companie. Este vorba în primul rând de Tamir Ginz. Welcome to our TV show. Please introduce your team.
Yeah, I chose to bring two of my soloists today to the studio. One of them is Lena Freifeld, who's been with the company for 5 years, and Angus Hu, who joined us this season after he was dancing for 7 years in the Birmingham Royal Ballet, and he's our new soloist for the company.
Welcome to Cluj and to our TV show. What could you tell us about Kamea Dance Company?
The company was founded 12 years ago by a grand lady called Daniela Shapira, who's actually from Transilvania.
Yes.
Yeah, from Tendamures, and myself. And we wanted to have a new company based in the Negev, the southern region of Israel, in the city of Beersheba, who is actually a twin city to Cluj-Napoca. And the idea was to have a city that has already a symphonic orchestra, and we have a big national theater, and there wasn't dance in the city, and have this company with a unique voice that involve a very high standard of technical abilities in ballet and in modern and contemporary dance, but on the other hand bring out a new style of dance that would incorporate this movement style with dramatic and moving themes that will also make people go through an experience than when they're going through watching our concert.
How long have you been in Kamea Dance Company?
You asking Lena?
Yeah.
I've been for 5 years in the company, and before I also danced in the school, which the company is working with.
And you?
This is my first season, so I've only been here for a few months, really. Before I was in, I did a guest work with Croatian National Theatre. I've worked with Birmingham Royal Ballet for a long period of time. I also was working with Graz Opera and also in Zurich as well. So this is my new venture at Kamea.
Which are the shows included in your repertoire?
Most of the repertoire is my work, and my works are very different from each other, not only in the themes but also in the movement vocabulary. Whereas Carmina is a contemporary work but is very strongly based in classical technique, my new work, which is called Desert of Things, is very contemporary and unique in the language vocabulary. It's inspired by the animal movement, by the wilderness, by rituals of all times, by the desert. That's as an example. Or if I made a piece that is called The Naked Truth, which is all about Kapalud, it was about all the fight between the women and men in a very kind of neoclassical, strong technique way, because it was influenced with my parting romantically from a lady that I was involved with in my life. So very often I take something from my life and make a piece out of it, but it's not just a theme. I'm developing with the dancers a vocabulary that is unique for that specific piece. Every season we run at least 4 pieces, and Kamea also invites guest choreographers to work with it. This year we're just going back from Romania, and we will start working with a very renowned choreographer who is having works in all the major companies in the world. Itzi Galili is an Israeli basically, but he works from Holland all around the world, and we have more to come in the future.
Okay. Why have you chosen Carmina Burana?
Carmina Burana was a commissioned piece that I got, I was asked to choreograph for a huge festival that was held in Cyprus in 2007 by a grand lady. Her name is Ria Ioniado. She reminds me very much of the Cluj-based man who's a big, in my opinion, a patron of the arts, Mr. Sorin Dan, who approached me. He heard about my pieces, he wanted to see it, and he asked me to come to Cluj because he wants to develop contemporary dance in Cluj, and he thought it would be a good shooting point to start with Kamea Dance Company because he thinks the audience here can relate to my work. Same happened with Ria, and she wanted to have Carmina Burana. It was her dream to have a huge grand orchestra with good dance on, and she gave me the privilege of sponsoring the creativity process of Carmina Burana. So once I was asked to do it, I fell in love with the music that I've always known, but this time I had to investigate it and the lyrics, what the words meant. And I thought it was such a pleasure making a dance, because I'm quite dreary, you know. They are very like, the next piece I'm going to make is going to be very much influenced by the latest events that Israel went through. And actually in Carmina Burana it was fun, having fun with the dancers, making love literally on stage, because the theme is about a party in Carmina Burana when everyone is having fun, loving each other. So they really start in a big kind of play game party, and they just take the clothes of one another, and the clothes are also their personalities. They reveal more of their personalities to one another. We learn who's the fool, who's the lonesome guy, who's the melancholic guy, who's the queen of the ball, who's leading the ball, which is the Fortuna. And we discover their personalities throughout the process. But I think what could be more fun than lovemaking? This is what the piece is about.
Yes. And what does this music tell us in that way that you conceive choreography?
Originally, the piece is very much the lyrics that Carlo, the great musician, wrote the music to. They talk about the anticipation of cycle of time, the coming of the spring, of the ritual of harvest, of letting people fall in love with one another, of the desire for love and for like poetry in that sense of romanticism, for the love of food and wine, and for the great glory of the ritual of growth that the spring will bring. But I chose to put that religious side of the historical strong Christianity aside and take a new approach to the choreography. I took the words and gave it new meaning. For example, if the lyrics said at a certain part that spring is coming and everything is flourishing, for me it was the love flourishing for the people, not for the actual physical environment. If the Fortuna could be a goddess of love, for me it's a hostess of a party. And I actually, when I did this part, I thought of Meryl Streep in She-Devil, you know? And I thought, like, with these grand dresses going into the party and telling everyone what to do and bossing people around, this was my image. So when there's a part when the priests are preparing for a meal and they're really roasting their meal, for me it was in the play, Angus is the meal for the priests because they were all his previous lovers. And it brings out his encounter with this flock of men that are actually interested in a feast, and he's the swan that they're about to eat. So it has a kind of a sexual meaning to it. So I tried to bring it to modern times. Place Carmina, because we're also a chamber company. We have 12 dancers, 11 performing today. So to really put it on a clean stage, on a black stage, and make the dancers have this fiesta of love and sex.
Which are for you the difficulties, the challenges in Carmina Burana?
Can you just repeat the question? Sorry.
Which are for you the difficulties, the challenges in Carmina Burana?
The difficulties and challenges, I think it's each section represents another form or another way of like the love that you have to show and the progression. And what's difficult is to be able to define the differences between each section, and if you leave the stage, to come on as the new and not what you have just done. And that can be kind of a challenge, but it's a good challenge and it's fun, isn't it?
Actually, for me, I think the challenge is that for the first 40 minutes, we are not leaving the stage. We are on the stage dancing all the time. So this is the challenge, and what helps for it, it's to enjoy and really go into this party, and then you just forget about everything, and like this 40 minutes are gone and you're just having fun and you are in this big party.
The whole choir sings in the first 45 minutes, the first act. Then you have the taverna, which calls for solos because the baritone and the soprano, the mezzo-soprano are singing, and then there are the love songs. There are 3 acts in Carmina Burana. So like Karlov has built it the opposite than we are used to in regular operas, where there's like a crescendo towards the end. We have like a crescendo in the beginning, it grows and grows and grows, and then you have all the solos. So I chose, because it's a party, to have all the dancers dancing non-stop for 45 minutes, which is a huge challenge physically. They don't even have a pause to go and drink throughout that whole act.
Where else has the show been performed?
Well, we started out, as I said, in Cyprus, and we went through since then to Lithuania. We went to China we were the only company invited to the Olympic Games cultural events in China. So we performed twice for the Olympic Games there. We also used that performance and had another performance given in the Forbidden City, actually, for the 60th birthday of Israel in front of 1,800 ambassadors, which was an amazing experience. We opened the Harbin, which is in China near the border of Russia, festival with it. We went to Turkey, which was also a very special experience, performing in an Islamic country, such a promiscuous piece. And Moldova, we did a year ago. We did in the Kishinev Opera. We did a production with the actual opera, the orchestra, and the choir there with live music. And obviously, if I forgot anything else, Sicily. We performed all around Sicily, Italy, a couple of years ago in a major festival, and we moved throughout the country. And we also perform it in Israel on the repertoire repeatedly, because the audience just always wants to see Carmina Burana again, because it's such a great party.
And how has the audience received it, all the places?
I think because it's a very communicative piece, everyone just loves it. Because it's very up to the dancers that we have, and now in Kamea Dance Company, like Angus and Lena, we have a terrific team of dancers. And they're all very high quality dancers, technically, and with their really input as having very great, interesting personalities and unique personalities that enrich the theme of the piece. So I think it is becoming more and more interesting, and the audience can feel it, that it's a vibrant piece, it's dynamic, and it's just like when you hear a song that you love on television over and over again and you're in love with it. Everyone, I think, knows the music of Carmina. And I think what I try to do is that you enjoy it in a way that you can relate to it, and not, you know, if, let's say I would have put it narratively in the medieval times with a priest and everything, it would become a kind of a scenic opera that tells a story that you have to read into. Where here, you just let go, relax into your seat, and have a great 70 minutes.
It's a great success.
Yeah.
And how do you manage to communicate so good with the audience?
I think that when we go on stage and we become these people, these elegant people that starts the party, and I really feel when I put on my big red dress, I become the Fortuna. I'm just this, and I think when I'm truly the character, and I really enjoy, I go off stage sweating and with this amazing feeling. So I think the audience get it. Like, it can't be different because it's true. It's a true feeling.
How is for you?
It's the same thing. It really is the same thing. It's like you put the costume on, you become the person, the part, you portray it, and you come off and you've enjoyed what you're doing. And it's really good fun. It's like, it's a very fun way of being. And I think that's what the communication is. We portray the enjoyment we're having as we're dancing.
What do you know about Romanian dance, contemporary dance?
Actually, I don't know a lot about Romanian contemporary dance. I do know a lot about Romania, because I love the Romanian dancers, the Romanian people on and off, not just dancers, sorry. My two best friends are actually Romanian that immigrated to Israel, so I hear a lot of Romanian, and I know a lot of Romanian dishes and the culture, and it's a beautiful country, and the people here are so warm, and they gave us such an amazing hospitality from the great person that was inspiring to bring us here, Sorin Dan, to every coordinator in the Festival of Comedy Cluj who has done this great effort to bring us here, and to the very last person that we encountered like you, a reporter here. Everyone is so warm that they really remind us of the Israeli temperament of being so forthcoming, loving, and looking for peace and love and harmony. This is who the Israeli people really are. And we are here as ambassadors of this country, of Israel, to say that we are a loving people that want to communicate, embrace, and get our unique love go through to the Romanian people, so our alliance with the Romanian people can be closer. So from what I know, the contemporary dance scene of Romania is not as developed as the Israeli dance scene, because Israel is the leading country in contemporary dance nowadays in the world, for a fact. And as we speak, I think many of the Israeli companies are abroad performing. And I would personally hope that this alliance we have with Romania with Kamea Dance Company will grow, so we can come here again and maybe teach repertoire, maybe set a piece on, let's say, the Cluj Opera Ballet, so they will get our style as well, maybe host them to perform in Israel later, maybe come and teach contemporary technique to develop and get inspired by your high and amazing classical technique. So I hope there'll be a developing communication and project culturally between the two nations subsequently to our visit here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And how have you achieved this in Israel in such a good way?
Israel is a country that has, it's a startup nation, and people are very devoted to whatever they're doing, because it's a nation made from scratch in a very short time. And I think what happened is that Israelis, because they are stressed so much with the security situation and with the need to prove themselves, and with they're really equipped with all the memories of the past. For example, I take great inspiration for my heritage, because I was born in Israel. My family originally is Hungarian, but my father was in the concentration camps, and so he was a survivor of the Holocaust, and this made me work with this need to prove myself as a survivor and leave my mark on this world and show that we are here and we can make things new and we can justify our being and our, the fact that we won because we are such a beautiful nation now. So I think most Israelis feel this unique strength in them, and it brings out that the Israelis are dancing from the gut. They dance indirectly. They have kind of a rough dance. They're not bound just to technicalities. Their personalities are coming out. And nowadays, not just in Kamea, in most Israeli companies, we are open to getting dancers from abroad. I took Angus into the company because he's a beautiful dancer, and I think he can really enrich me in my vocabulary, and I would like to have this challenge of working with a classical dancer and making new vocabulary that will grow out of the cooperation with him in my new coming pieces. So I think dancers are coming from the outside to get that rough experience, and we are taking from dancers coming all over the world technical and special trades. But on and all, still the Israelis, they dance differently from anywhere else in the world. There's a direct communication to the audience that is kind of from the bottom of the heart to the audience, which gets into you and excites you, and that's what is so fascinating about Israeli dancers.
Great. What does dance mean to you?
Mostly expression, because we work in the studio and we sometimes frustrated and all of these feelings, and it's a really hard and demanding job. But when you go on stage and you feel the lights, you feel the audience, and you know that you have this period of time to devote yourself to something that you love doing so much, and then you get the claps in the end. This is what dancing and performing is about for me. This is the air that we breathe. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And for you?
For me, it's actually pretty much the same. It's really like you were just saying, so I can't really say it any better. Sorry.
I think a dancer's job is one of the most difficult jobs around in the world, because a dancer he's using his body as the tool, and he wears it out. He literally has to work to get the brain to do what, send the body to do what the choreographer wanted. You have to submit your brain to the person that is in front of you, so he will be able to talk through your body. And it's a difficult process because sometimes the body has his own mind. So it's a difficult job also because you're tired, you're always hungry, and you always are paid poorly in most countries, same as Israel. And you still are devoted to your art. And the real gratitude for any artist, and I think my dancers will agree, are the applause of the audience and the lights and the thank you that they get from the audience. And that's why often I think dance critics should be very, very careful also to encourage people to come and see dance, because it's very easy to kill a ballet with one line in the paper, and it kills the job the dancer did for 6 months from 9 to 6, you know, or 5, killing themselves every day. So I am in awe to all dancers in the world for doing this amazing job. Obviously I did it for many years, so I know how difficult it is.
The tough one. If you are not to dance any longer, what you like to do? What other means of communication would suit you, as dancing is a universal language?
Well, when I will be not dancing anymore, I think because we, as Tamir said, we work with our bodies, and we have to work. We can't, if something happens, we can't just say, oh, I hurt my leg, I can't dance for a week. So, and often people that, doctors and other people, they usually say rest. So I would like to work with dancers and work with the sports people and know how to help them while they work, so the machine will be ready to work, and not just you need to rest and that's it.
It's interesting coming from Lena, because her father is a medical professor. Yes. So, you know, I didn't know that. I get new input to her future. He would probably be very happy hearing her now. Yeah. She wants to go in that direction.
Yes.
Which are your hobbies that help in dancing?
For me personally?
For you, for all of you.
I think maybe the dancers will answer that best, because I'm going to give quite a poor picture, because unfortunately this is an intimate thing that I'm revealing on Romanian TV for the first time, but I give my life to dance. I feel that I'm the chosen one, as Martha Graham said. I very often go to the dancer and say, you are chosen, that's why you're on stage. Unfortunately, I had more of a personal life before I founded Kamea, and I was working in a very renowned company called Bador Dance Company that folded because it was private, and there were all sorts of other problems there. And I don't have that much personal time for hobbies. I like to listen to music, I like to go to the gym and watch films, but I find myself committing my life to the art of dance, and I think my life is the Kamea Dance Company. So I think there's no other way. If you want to be a true artist, you have to give all your life to the arts. Most of my friends really are denouncing it and telling me off and are upset with me for it, that I have no personal life. But sometimes I think it's really sad, but on the other hand, there is no other way for me but this company and my creativity.
Great. The same question is for you.
Hobbies or after my...
Other activities that help?
I mean, I think the best way is, like, I quite enjoy in my free time if I'm not just resting and like recovering from the work that I'm doing. I mean, I enjoy going and seeing the things around me if I'm in a place that's new, or going to somewhere that's new that I wouldn't necessarily go to every day and stuff like that, you know, like visit something and enjoy that, or take in some culture of another aspect within the arts, because I really enjoy to do stuff like that, because I also find it very inspiring for the work that I'm doing as well, because it can inspire you to want to do something or create something, or or just help you learn something new in the same area of art as well. That's usually what I really like to do in my free time.
And you, Lena?
I also, because the body is so complicated and all of the things that we do, so always I find something that I feel that will enrich me. I go a lot to the theater because I love acting, and I also take a lot from it because the company of Kamea, it's like Tamir said, it's not only about technique, but it's also about the theatrical side, the dramatic side. And I feel that it's really important to me to know to be that thing, to give the truth of me. So when I go to the theater and I watch things, so I learn a lot. And in general, also going to the gym and doing classes and like investing in the body and in our machine that works. So this what I like to do.
I must say, I also obviously watch a lot of theatre and films and read and all that, but I want to just humor the people that are watching us when I have a hard day at the studio and I work for a long time and I'm frustrated, let's say, with the dancers or the problems with the budget. One of my nicest hobbies that has nothing to do with dance is that I love cooking. So, and I actually bring the company once a year to a party and I cook for them, so they'll see that I'm not that beast. I'm not just this wicked choreographer, but I can also be a good host.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm very honored to have you here, and I'm looking forward to see your performance.
We are very honored to have you with us, and we would like to again send our gratitude to the Romanian people and to you for your hospitality, to the Comedy Cluj Festival, to Mr. Sorin Dan, who has this great initiative to bring contemporary dance to Romania. And I must send a huge thank you to the Ambassador of Israel in Bucharest and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Israel for supporting our trip here. We wouldn't have been able to be here if it wasn't for them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mai trebuie să fac încheierea și să introduc just a few moments. Introduc un pic materialul care o să fie. Vă invit să urmărim câteva secvențe din spectacolul Carmina Burana. Aceasta a fost Transilvania Culturală de astăzi. La revedere!